So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. Let's get right into the shout outs. I'm going to go first. I'm excited about this. This guy's on my team. We've been talking about him all year long. Bam Adebayo, 41-point career high performance. Dude balled out, coming back off that COVID protocol last week, and now he's hooping. And then the Heat have finally realized. They finally realized, run the ball through Bam. Get the ball to Bam. He's your best player. Shout out to Bam. We're going to roll the clip right now.
4. So the Nets up by 16, and Bam hits another 3. Comes at the end of, that's not a 3. He was inside the arc. My bad. His good. Bam having quite enough.
Bam Adebayo went off. That is a guy that I'm super happy for, and he's going to continue to excel in that Heat program. Moving on to the next shout out that we got to give. We just talked about it. Collin Sexton, back-to-back dubs against Brooklyn, single-handedly carrying that team. The first game in double OT, he had 42, 5, 5, 1, and 2. And then the next game, he came back 25, 2, and 9. Collin Sexton was the heart and soul of that team. No Darius Garland, no Kevin Love, just Collin Sexton hooping. Hey, didn't he play a little 3-on-5 or something in college?
Back in Alabama, yeah, probably one of the most legendary games from an individual I think I've ever seen in college basketball. Honestly, if you have some of that clip, we should roll that a little bit.
Roll the Collin Sexton 3-on-5 clip, bro.
Yeah.
Rebound! Sexton the rebound, here he comes. Sexton himself, got it! Sexton, down 6, 3-on-5, dishes off, it's a dunk!
But just to get into Collin Sexton, as I said earlier with Justice, they weren't really running a whole lot on offense. They were giving him the ball, and he gave them 20 straight to end the game, all by himself. Look, I love team basketball. We all love it, but that's just special when there's just nothing anyone can do to stop one guy. So big shout out to Collin Sexton this week.
Yeah, big shout out to Collin Sexton. Playing with the Cavs is basically as close to playing 3-on-5 in the NBA as you're going to get.
Exactly.
But to continue our shout outs, we got a callback from last week. We told you Jamal Murray, don't worry about him, sweetheart. Don't worry about him. And he comes back and he's playing better than ever. He's got increases in every single stat since last episode. Dude is blowing it up in Denver. Him and Joker, man, what a duo. They just need a third option to kind of cap it. But I think the Joker himself is right now Joel Embiid's main opponent in the MVP race.
Okay. I just want to say, before I say what I have to say, where are you ranking him right now, 1 or 2 with Joel Embiid?
I'd put him at 1.
Put him at 1. All right, this is where we're going to split off today, because Joel Embiid is the best center in the NBA right now. Just watch the games. Everyone yes, I know we love Jokic, we love the passes, and it's nice and pretty, but Embiid is playing at a similar rate on offense, and then is also a much better defender than Jokic is. It's not even close how much better of a defender he is, and they're putting around the same numbers. That's got to be an easy one. I had Embiid over Jokic last year when people were still trying to give Jokic that number 1 center in the league. I'm a big Embiid guy, and he has been balling out as of late. This year as a whole, he's averaging 27, 11, and 2. He is taking that team and lifting them to new heights. And a lot of people were waiting on to see how, him and Ben Simmons would work out. Turning out, they're just letting Ben Simmons just be the defensive stopper and still be his guy. And they found out how this offense really runs through, and it's Joel Embiid, and they're clicking right now, and I love to see it. Specifically, Joel Embiid this past week had 3 straight games of 30 and 10, 30 points and 10 rebounds. is only the third Sixer in history to ever do that, and the other two are Charles Barkley and Wilt Chamberlain. So that's legendary company right there. That's MVP company we're talking about right there. And he's had 51, 57, and 64 fantasy points within his last 3 games. And as of right now, he is my MVP. I'll lock it in.
All right. No disrespect to Joel Embiid, because I do have him at my 2 spot right now in the MVP race. But the Joker just came off a 29 and 22 performance. 29, 22, and 6. The one before that, 31 and 10. The one before that, 27 and 12. The dude is hooping right now, and I got Joker as my number 1, but we're straying away from our shout out, which is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, shout out you. Thanks for hooping for the Nuggets. You're just proving our point right. And the next guy we got to shout out, another callback, man, a waiver wire pickup, making it into the shout outs. OG Anunoby coming back, averaging 37 fantasy points per game since the last episode. Before the last episode when we shouted him out, 29.5. He's got to be watching, right? He's got to be listening to us.
He knows.
He's showing out for the people that love fantasy basketball this week. And for that, we thank you, OG Anunoby. He just actually had a huge game right before we started recording this. We're recording this on Sunday. He just got done having a huge game against the Pacers. I mean, played incredibly well. I think he had 5 steals all in the first quarter or something like that. Just absolutely insane. So shout out STL, OG Anunoby. Shout out you. Carl, let's hear them shout outs.
All right. I mean, my main Embiid was my number 1 this week for my shout outs. And then I just kind of have just some guys I'm just kind of questioning just to see how they're doing this week. Not really quite a shout out, but it's Anthony Edwards. So, I've just, on the show, I've been really critical of a lot of the rookies that we've seen so far. I always probably have about 1 a week. And Anthony Edwards is kind of proving some things that I saw pre-draft, where I felt it would take him some time to get his jump shot together. I am kind of confused with just how complacent he is at getting to the rim at his size, at his position. He is one of the biggest, most athletic guards in the league, settles for a lot of shots, shoots 34.7% from the field, 27.2 from 3. And the only issue is that when he gets hot, he gets hot. And you like to see it, but it's just the shots he takes, are just not, I don't know. There's not really great shots, and it's a lot of settling, and he's still got some work to do. But I, again, just love his upside so much that I would just have him watch listed at this point. Just because all of his production is scoring, and I keep having this belief that he's going to figure it out, and it's looking like the way it is so far that it may not be this year. So that's number 1 here. And then I have an actual kind of shout out is to the one net that's been holding down the fort for a couple of years, Joe Harris, with all this roster change. Joe Harris has been coming in as a sniper. I remember watching him when he won the 3-point competition a couple years ago, and just shooting lights out still. Shooting 50% from the field, 49.2% from 3. Just want to shout out Joe Harris real quick because so much has changed. And yes, we talked about him being a suspect defender. Well, we already did that. We're appreciating Joe Harris right now. And it's Joe Harris still being a lights out shooter. It's a big part of this Nets team, just continuing just to do the one thing that he does better than almost everybody on the planet. And just that's it. It's my shout out to Joe Harris.
Yeah, Joe Harris is one of the guys I was looking at as well, and he is only owned in 64% of leagues. So if you're looking for a guy that needs guard and forward eligibility, there's not a lot of guys with that eligibility this year. So Joe Harris is a good option, and he's got 4 games coming up with Brooklyn. So he could be a guy that you could look to stream if he's available. He's owned in quite a bit of leagues, so maybe not.